I've spent the last several years remodeling my home into a techie's dream, with gaming PCs, 10 gig networking, and screens everywhere. And it's kind of awesome, but there is one fatal flaw. Despite the solar panels we installed on the roof providing some clean energy some of the time, the system was designed to feed excess power back into the grid rather than into a battery bank. So, during the stormy season, we regularly lose the one thing a techie house needs more than anything else. Come on! The power! And these outages seem to be happening more and more frequently. So it's time to solve this once and for all with a proper home power backup solution. Jake? Jesus. Jake, this is not what we talked about.
What do you mean? It's mint. I thought you wanted something cheap.
Well, yeah, of course I want something cheap, but I want something safe.
I've got paperwork. Hold on. See? Like, look.
That's not the paperwork, that's just our sponsor.
War Thunder, if you're into vehicle combat.
Ha! Got him. You see, Linus isn't the only one who's tired of our crappy power grid. And when I heard him complaining about it, it gave me a wonderful idea. Why spend my time building a cost-effective battery backup system for my house when I can get paid to do it instead? It's just that when I pitched doing a sort of DIY, build your own battery to Linus, he was understandably a bit sketched out. So I told him, don't worry, we'll just buy a complete solution and then all we've got to do is hook it up, which is exactly what I did. There's just maybe a little bit more assembly required than I think he was expecting. Now, if you've been keeping up with the Linus house renovation project, you might have seen the Eaton UPS, or uninterruptible power supply units, in his rack. Yes, the one that got water all over it. That box is basically a fancy battery that sits in between his networking, smart home control, everything in his server rack, and as the name implies, provides uninterrupted power to it in the event of an outage. The problem is, they're just only really designed to run for like a couple minutes, just enough time to save your work and shut down, or in a larger scale setup like a data center, enough time for a generator to start up and fill in for the grid. Not nearly enough for a several hour-long outage. And while we could extend it with extra Eaton battery packs at a retail price of $1,500 US per piece, even $6,000 later, we'd still only have a few hours. Now, other setups like the Jackery I kind of hinted at earlier could power the whole house, but with 10 kilowatt hours costing $6,000 US as well, DIY it is, starting with the batteries. Now, in a normal whole house setup, in this day and age, you would usually go with LFP or lithium iron phosphate batteries. They're much more affordable than the solutions I just mentioned per kilowatt hour, but more importantly, they're less explosive and have longer usable life than the batteries we're gonna be using today. Specifically, these 4 battery modules we picked up from a scrapped Tesla Model S battery. They were $250 a pack, and that is really freaking cheap. And since I'm not exactly sure how Linus is gonna feel about all this, these were a solid way to start a bit smaller, not to mention that these packs have a built-in balance and sensor board, which helps with the safety factor, and we'll talk a bit more about that later. Because the 400 odd cells in this pack are primarily wired in parallel, which adds capacity rather in series, which adds up the voltage, each pack is only around 24 volts, but we need 48. So we're gonna take each pair, and wire them together in series, which will give us the exact same 48 volts. So why don't we start with that? This specifically is 4 gauge. Now, the gauge of the wire, which is how thick it is and how much power it can handle, is really important, but we're not gonna get into that just yet. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But what is important is how you terminate it. They're actually Molex brand. Yes, that Molex, but no, not that connector. These connectors are much, much beefier, so much so that you can't put this on this cable without a special tool, because even if you had a big pair of pliers, the odds that you're going to be able to put enough force on this to actually get a good connection, very unlikely. So instead, we're going to use this, which is a hydraulic crimper. We picked this up on Amazon for about 100 bucks, and if you look at it closely, as I pump the lever, once it gets tight, it's exerting a ton of force on that connector. See? That is not going anywhere. So if we grab our lovely Fluke 117 multimeter here and measure a single pack, we've got 23.4 volts, And then if I go to measure the whole pack from negative to positive, 46. You can even see our meter is in DC mode. Batteries are DC, and that means basically that one side is positive and one side is negative, and the electricity flows one way. You can see if I flip these around and put the positive lead on the negative side and vice versa, we get negative voltage now. The power in your house, however, is completely different. It's AC, or alternating current, and if you were able to check, negative versus positive on that, please don't try. You would see that the hot wire actually switches between negative and positive 60 times a second, at least in North America. You can't just like hook one of these batteries straight up to the wall. Please do not try that. Instead, you need something called an inverter. Oh, and a charger. Oh my gosh, this is heavier than I was expecting. An inverter takes the DC charge from our batteries and gives us AC wall power, and then it also does the opposite because this is a hybrid, so it'll take wall power and give us DC power to charge the batteries. So it's an inverter charger, and the one we're going to be using, this EG4 6000 XP, is specifically designed for 48 volt battery systems, which is why we put the batteries together earlier. And if we open it up, we can see all sorts of connections in here. We've got the big old battery terminals. This thing can do a lot of battery. We've got load, which is what you connect anything downstream that you want battery backed up. We've got grid, which is the incoming power, so we can charge the batteries with that. It can pass it through when we're not on battery. We've got gen, which is for a generator, which Linus doesn't have, but all of the units kind of in this price point seem to have that, so bonus feature, eh? And then PV input. This is meant for connecting solar panels directly to the inverter charger if you're doing like an off-grid installation, like at a cabin where you don't even have a grid to connect to. This specific unit, because it's called the 6000 XP, can handle 6,000 watts of power. And in a normal home battery setup, you'd take what you would call a critical load panel, which is just a separate electrical panel, and wire up all of the things that you need to power in an outage, like say medical equipment if you have something like that, or controls for like a gas heating system. That way you're not wasting battery power powering the entire house when you don't really need to. In the final installation, we're probably just gonna power the whole house. However, for now, we're just gonna set this up as a completely standalone system, just like a UPS. And in our case, our critical load, which is the server rack, it's already separated onto two PDUs, which are basically fancy power bars. A lot has changed, as you can see. And obviously there's a lot of pieces here that we haven't talked about at all yet, so let's do it. Now, you can just take our batteries over there and hook them right up to this. It would work, but it's not exactly safe. Primarily, if there's any sort of issue with this, not to say that there will be, but if there was, that caused the pack to draw too much power, we don't want our cables to be able to melt. Or, for instance, if somehow one of them got caught and shorted itself out, we want that system to automatically be safeguarded against that. And to do that, you use fuses, which do exactly that. These are rated for 80 amps, and there is kind of like a table that shows you at what amperage and what amount of time they blow. But the main thing is, if our battery pack gets shorted out for some reason or is drawing way too much power, this fuse will blow and break the path of electricity, so it doesn't start a fire, or at least in theory. And we have one of these for each of our series pairs of batteries, and they'll just sit in this little fuse holder thingy here, which conveniently has a bus bar on the other side that'll connect our two sets of packs together to get all of our capacity into the inverter charger right here. There's also another safety measure right here, which is called a contactor, and it's basically an electronically controlled light switch. Just like an electronically controlled, the biggest light switch you could possibly imagine. This thing can handle 900 volts DC, and I think like, how many amps? I don't know, it doesn't matter. A frickin' lot of amps. Way more than you could possibly need in this pack, because this is actually pulled out of a car. If there's any sort of issue with the pack, ideally, we're detecting that ahead of time, and the contactor will shut off the power. And how do you know if there's anything wrong with the batteries? Well, the Vero Electric BMS V2. This thing is the brains of our operations, or at least of the battery side. This thing allows us to talk directly to the Tesla module balance boards and read the temperatures, the voltages, everything. But more importantly, it controls our contactor big switch thing. So if there is any problem with the pack, something doesn't seem right, it shuts the power off and makes sure that nothing breaks. Oh, and I almost forgot. There's one of these little clampy boys. It's called the CT. It just goes on the negative wire and feeds back information into the BMS to tell it how much amperage is going through, so we know how much it's being charged or discharged at any time. So now we need to talk about how we're going to connect to the house to get our incoming juice and connect the rack to power the rest of the devices, especially when a power outage happens. So in North America, we have a little bit of a complicated situation. You see, this is a normal power plug. You've got one wire that comes into here that gives you 120 volt AC, and the other wire is neutral, which is not technically a live wire, technically, except that in an electrical panel, you also have line 2. So there's 2. These 2 wires, line 1 and line 2, are separated by 240 volts AC, and the neutral just sits in the middle. And so if you connect neutral to line 1, you get 120 volts. If you connect neutral to line 2, you get 120 volts. But you have to deal with both of these if you want to be able to back up an entire house. Or in our case, in Linus's rack, we have 240 volt and 120 volts. So we need to be able to power both of those devices. Now our inverter is built for this. We've got L1, we've got L2, that's fine. It's just that at the house, it becomes a little bit complicated because we need to get all of this on one plug ideally. And it just so happens that there's a solution for this. This fancy plug called an L1430, the 30 standing for 30 amps, the 14 standing for whatever the heck this is, gives us L1, L2, and neutral. Of course, also a ground. And that means we can pull 120 volt and 240 volt off of this one plug. From here, we'll run a big wire that can handle that 30 amp load. It'll wire into L1 and L2 on grid. Then we'll have our neutral on the neutral, and then our ground into PE for protected earth. And that's pretty much it on the input side. From the output side, it's kind of the same story, except that instead of wiring directly to a plug, we need 2 plugs. So I've got an L630, which connects to the PDU and gives us 240 volt only, not both. And then we've just got a normal receptacle, which will be our normal 120 volt. Huzzah! With a little movie magic, now we're in Linus's basement. And we have everything here a little bit more put together than the last time you saw it. I've done a bunch of wiring. We've got our output side all put together, how we talked about before. We don't even have the Tesla batteries hooked up yet. I don't even have the cables made, but the next step is getting this thing on the wall. I guess it has to go right here. This is pretty much the only option. And Linus isn't home right now. He's in Asia on vacation, which means I get to put it wherever the I want. Now, before we do anything funky like getting this wired up to the house, I'm gonna hook this up with a different battery than our Tesla packs. Specifically, this one also made by the company that makes the inverter, EG4. Now, if you're looking for a more, oh my God, off-the-shelf solution, this is something you can look for. It's basically a rack mount unit made with LFP batteries, which we talked about earlier. They're a lot safer, and it includes all of the safety and battery management stuff in this unit. It is a fair bit more expensive than rolling your own solution, but you press the power button here, it boots up, it's ready to go, and it hooks right up with some RJ45 for communication with the inverter and some power leads. Damn, hey?
Yeah, that's good.
That's not half bad.
Perfect.
Let's slide this in the corner, measure some cables, and then we'll reuse them for our temporary battery and save these for Linus. And when you're hooking up a battery system like this, it's very important that you get wire that is thick enough to handle the amperage and the amount of energy that you're passing through it. And this 6,000-ish watt inverter means at 48 volts, peak load, 125 amps. That's a lot of freaking amps, man. And since we have 2 packs kind of that are being put together, we divide that by 2. That means an individual pack could be pulling anywhere upwards of 62 amps. And if we look at our handy ampacity chart, which tells us what wire gauge you need for a given amperage, we'll say 62 amps, so we'll go 70 is 6 gauge. And this is 4 gauge, so we're good to go. The 4 gauge should be able to handle up to 100 amps, so this is lots. About that much right into our fuse. And we actually have a fuse for each of our pairs of packs. That way, if all of the power for the full 6,000 watts was going from one pack, this fuse will blow and shut the whole system off.
Oh, fresh.
Oh, because I just want to see this thing turn on, I'm gonna do something mildly cursed and use both red cables as the positive and the negative for our pre-made battery from EG4. Now, if you're doing this properly, you should use a torque wrench. I'm just going with Guten type. If we flip this on, hey, it's on. Please do not ever do this at home. Hey, look at that. You seeing it? 120 volt AC, baby. Now my plan was to use this plug, an L630, which powers his main big UPS with 240 volt power. The problem is, despite what the panel was labeled, this is only a 2-wire cable, which means we have line 1 and line 2 with no neutral, and we need the neutral. So we walk into the electrical supply store, and the guy's like, yeah, they won't do that. They won't cut it off the roll. I'm like, what do you mean they won't cut it off the roll? Look at how many rolls you have. Look over there. There's even more rolls. Well, we got it though. He magically cut it off the roll for us, I guess. So I did a bunch of electrical work in your house, added a new plug, and in theory, it's really theory because I haven't tested this part.
Hey! And then this is just batteries out of what? A Model S?
Yes.
What'd we pay for them?
Very little. For the uninitiated, this is 20,000 watts for an hour.
Or 1,000 watts for 20 hours.
That's assuming no losses and whatnot. We're just, yeah, perfect world. Anyways, and it was $1,000 Canadian, which
What?
Americans is like 600 US.
Dude!
That is 5 kilowatt hours and is $2,000. For the big deployment, we're probably not gonna actually use these. We will use LFP batteries, but we'll build our own pack, basically.
I don't know too much about the battery packs in older Model S's. I know
Sure.
these are 18650s,
Yeah.
and there's a freaking lot of
I
them.
think there's 444 in each of these.
And then how many packs would be in a full car?
I believe there's 16 modules in a whole battery pack in a Model S. You notice how these are exactly the same length?
Yes.
Very important when you're building a battery pack that you have equal lengths between all of your different cells, because you don't want to be charging them ever so slightly different.
Is this off here for a reason? It could just go anywhere on there,
Just
right?
put them here.
So I could also just put it here? Or what happened to the nut? What am I doing? I'm drunk.
You are drunk.
What?
Look at this.
Oh my god, I put that one on backwards.
You are so drunk.
I mean, it would still work.
Now, we plug in the BMS. Yeah, that has a mount. Look how mounted that is. Ah, mint. We can see our batteries are 27 degrees, 46.7 volts, and a 62% state of charge. I actually hadn't tested this contactor yet. If we were to go like this, you hear that?
Yeah.
That was the
Clicked.
contactor.
What's one of these worth?
I think this is about $2,000 Canadian. It's about $1,500 US.
That's not bad.
Considering it can do 6 kilowatts. Yeah, I didn't. I was just chilling there.
That's confidence inspiring.
Look how mounted that is. Ah, mint. Presently, our BMS cannot talk to the inverter over CAN and like have a nice communication and tell each other what's going on. However, I did yell at both of the companies, and they have been for like the last 3 weeks working on getting them integrated. So
Oh, that's very cool.
in a couple weeks, you'll hopefully will be able to use an EG4 inverter with a Vero BMS, and they'll just talk to each other and everything's good.
Super cool.
For now, we have to run it in lead acid mode. Lead acid mode is basically you don't have a lithium battery that has a battery management it can talk to.
So we could set the charge current to whatever we want if we wanted to control temperatures or...
Yeah, 100%. So actually, in a Tesla, I mean, if you look, there's coolant terminals on the outside,
Yeah.
and you can water cool them. And realistically, if you're doing an EV conversion, you really would want to water cool them.
But we could hook it up to the pool.
Yeah, you could. We're pulling from the grid, charging 2,900 watts, and then we are consuming 2,000 watts all at the same time. Let's just try it.
Okay, so we're just gonna unplug the wall. Okay, I heard a beep.
Oh, everything's bad.
It's that?
Just kidding.
Oh, come on. 46 amps, 48, 45. She goes. That's simple. Let's go. In conclusion, this is kind of awesome.
Not that crazy, right?
Now all we need to do is 10x it.
Yeah, a 200 kilowatt hour battery would be freaking sick. But where do we put it?
I'm thinking this goes,
Yeah.
and we basically just build a giant battery wall. Like I could put this bench on wheels, put it over here in front of all this stuff, and then if I ever need to access this, I just wheel it away. Yeah, or I could just not do this in here, and I could just use my garage like a normal person.
Or this could just sit in front of the batteries.
Or we could just segue to our sponsor.
War Thunder, take to the skies. Each engage 2. Let's evolve Android Evolate.
Video, maybe go check out the one that we did on putting the solar panels on the roof.
Yes.
They're really cool panels. It just turns out they're not quite compatible with this application because I told them not to have ones like that.
Yeah, making this work for the whole house and the solar is going to be interesting.
Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar. I got a bit of a short little video that I wanted to talk about in regards to why the AAA games industry, I really think, at least specifically, should crash and burn. Games are expensive. And, with all the prices jumping up from $60 to $70 to $80 to what I guess people are thinking by the time GTA 6 drops to $100 per game, yeah, it's not looking that pretty. Now, one thing I want to start off with is I don't want to see the console war or any war in the comment section below. There's a lot of moving parts here, and I'm not going to sit here and blame one person or the other. I will, however, throw every one of these companies under the bus right now real quick. Not too long ago, we looked at PlayStation. They jumped their prices up a little bit across the world in special regions for that PlayStation 5. Yes, one of the most boring gaming generations as of right now. Yeah, all of it is going up in prices. Xboxes? Do you know that they're pricing those things up, ladies and gentlemen? How up? Well, if you decide to get the cheapest Xbox Series S, it's going from $300 to $380. You had to do some crazy black magic to get somebody to buy an Xbox in the first place, because we all know how quick those are flying off the store shelves. Yeah, that's just going up. I mean, for some crazy psychopath that thinks a 2 terabyte Galaxy Special Edition is $600 originally, now it's $730. They probably should be shot into the galaxy for thinking this is a reasonable increase. Nintendo Switches, far as Canadian prices go, $629.99, meaning you go to the fucking store, you get the Switch and a game, you're probably looking at I think $800 at least after taxes in Canadian buckaroonies to go pick up a little handheld Switchy. There's going to be a lot of people who are trying to convince their wives' boyfriends to put that money down. But you know what? Honestly, everything's just getting way more expensive here. And, I used to live at a time where, granted, when the PlayStation 3 dropped, I'm not super old, I'm 31. But, granted, when the PlayStation dropped, it used to be a time when I remember the PS3, it dropped at, I think it was $600. Motherfuckers had to go and get their kidneys removed to get that PlayStation, okay? That wasn't even getting a game. But obviously, if you waited, as all good things come to those who wait, I guess, you would end up getting a PlayStation, down the road. It would slim up. You get the little Ozempic running through these consoles. They'd slim up. They'd go hit the gym. Bam! You get a cheaper system. And then sometimes they'd really hit the Ozempic gritty. They'd double barrel that into their bodies. You might get a super slim towards the very end of a console generation. It seems like this is the only generation where if you don't buy a system day one, quite literally, 4 or 5 years down the road, you're probably just going to end up paying more across the board, okay? It might be one thing if this was a pro version of the console, where it was mostly geared towards people that just had an insane amount of money to begin with, or a lot of disposable income. But you're looking at even the cheapest options going up, it ain't looking pretty, okay? I used to recommend buying a console, the cheapest console, if you couldn't afford PC gaming. If you didn't, because generally speaking, that Xbox at $300 was not a bad deal if you wanted to play something like GTA 6 day one. Even a computer that could play GTA 6 on launch would probably not cost you $300 at the time to run it even at its most minimum settings, okay? Unless you really stretched your dollars and sought a sale. That's not the world we live in, ladies and gentlemen, with how wild supply chains and how wild tariffs have become. It's an entire hobby that's become exponentially more expensive as time has effectively gone on. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about more specifically before we go back to the hardware stuff, which actually really isn't the fault for a lot of these companies, is the increase to that $80 game. Now, recently I was at the Xbox website, and around May 1st they announced some pricing updates. Oh boy, let's read the pricing update. So some of our new first-party games will launch at $79.99 beginning this holiday season. So, beginning of this holiday season, Microsoft is, expecting that, those AAA big-budget games we're launching, they're going to be $80. So what kind of games you imagine? Probably Call of Duty, let's be completely real here. And, one of the things that I've learned in the gaming circle is when you're on the internet, you're a very loud vocal minority. In reality, every time I go to a GameStop or something and I see somebody pick up a copy of Call of Duty, pick up a copy of Madden, pick up a copy of NBA, which, bro, at this point, the game might as well be a fucking casino you go to on Vegas with a basketball minigame attached to it. All right, yeah, those are still being sold like crazy. These games are hilarious because if you go to their user reviews, it's 3 out of 10. The people buying this shit feel like they're purchasing actual dog water, but yet they still buy it. You know, it's like the amount of people that complain about the Switch 2 prices, and it's like, I'm not going to go get a Switch. And then you immediately read the next day, oh my God, it broke all pre-order records. Bro, that's why the industry is allowed to get away with fisting you pretty much without any lube at any given time, okay? Because people just can go and buy it. Now, when it comes to the increase in video game prices, one of the things that obviously leads to that increase, like why a video game went from $50 to 60 to 70 to 80, is there is a genuine truth to video games getting more expensive to produce, right? So, for instance, let's say that you're somebody that wants to play like the new GTA, right? Like if we look at it from a mathematical perspective, like Red Dead Redemption 2 cost them $170 to $240 million Rockstar to make. That doesn't include the extra $200 to $300 million it cost for the budget for the marketing. So let's just look at the cost for just the payment of developing the game. That's almost $250 million. Now, if you go back to San Andreas, which is a far simpler game in comparison to the heavy hitter that is Red Dead 2, from just a technical perspective, it would cost Rockstar at the time, I believe, if you adjusted for inflation, $15 to $23 million. So that's how much money you're looking at for developing the game. And obviously, the marketing is effectively double that. But yeah, games are just substantially more expensive to produce. It's kind of crazy when you look at the development and time for a video game. It kind of rivals that of like some of the most insane Hollywood masterpieces. Like AAA gaming is such an expensive behemoth because teams have jumped from tens of gamers, tens of programmers, tens of developers to hundreds of developers, artists, individuals that are doing tons of different jobs to create our different video games that we all know and love, okay? To conceive making a video game is not something that starts, in like year one. It starts year one and probably ends like year 7. Like realistically looking at a game like GTA 6, for how impressive that it is and how much we all gawked over it, I'm sure that the game is probably a concept since GTA 5, and since then, development has sort of happened. There has been an actual paper trail, a receipt for development beginning probably since then. And obviously that ramps up as the years progress, but ultimately it's a game that costs hundreds of millions of dollars to make. And obviously for a game company, it's not the day where they exclusively develop games for one console. No, in order to make your money back, you got to be developing for everything. PlayStation, Xbox, phones even, PCs, everything. And everything has to hit on every cylinder for you to make as much money back as quickly as you can, and hope to God that if your game has some live service component, probably also starts generating hundreds of millions of dollars every year. That's just how expensive a video game, and that's how expensive the demands have gotten. So sometimes a video game is successful. Like obviously nobody's going to say that Red Dead 2 was a failure. Obviously very successful for Rockstar. But there's also games that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to produce. Games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is one of my favorite games, but if you ask Square Enix, obviously, I'm sure it wasn't the most, selling game in their mind. It wasn't the game that met expectations. In fact, it apparently failed to meet expectations. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that they released it exclusively on a PlayStation 5. It was the second part of a trilogy, a pretty popular trilogy, mind you, but generally speaking, those sales do tend to drop off. And when you have like a 50-hour commitment for the previous game requirement to go into the next one, yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people that are probably going to skip or at least wait until everything is out in a convenient like $60 package down the road in like 2030. So yeah, it's a tough industry to kind of be in, and it seems like it's getting more difficult for the AAA people. Now, if you ask me personally, I think that for most games, I was reading somewhere that I think it was over 90% of PC gamers are playing older games. And while this is skewed with people playing stuff like Roblox, Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto Online, games that are regularly updated, but obviously released probably a decade ago at worst, yeah, those games are still obviously very popular. But I think for a lot of older games, like me personally, dog, I've been playing so much MGS Phantom Pain. I've been playing Arkham Knight again, a game that might as well, I think it's basically almost a decade old at this point. A lot of these older games, in my opinion, just kind of hit harder. Like, there are 30-hour games with, 30-hour worth of experiences, and they don't stretch longer than they need to. I haven't played Assassin's Creed Shadows beyond the initial, 2 weeks. I haven't even finished that game because while I enjoyed 10 hours of its gameplay, I didn't want to do that 10 hours 10 times over repetitively just to see a credit screen roll through. And honestly, I think the AAA industry is probably more so threatened by the fact that games like Expedition 33 exist that have released at price tags under $60, made by a group of 30 people that has actually gotten like 2 million sales in what, like 10 days that it's been out? It's fucking crazy to see like some success happen that's not in the AAA space when a game company comes out and produces an actual masterpiece that resonates with gamers versus just being like an open world checklist slog that you're basically digging through. Because if anything, I feel like I've been kind of talking about the game industry crashing, and honestly, when it comes to the AAA side, I am so fucking ready to see this industry crash. Simply because if anything needs to be reset, it's probably those bloated AAA development budgets. It's probably the expectation of this industry that if gamers are expected to pay $80, shouldn't the quality also go up beyond just shinier graphics? Shouldn't games be taking real advantage of the hardware we provide them and hardware genuinely advancing? Like, these are things that, honestly, if the industry isn't willing to address, there's a real big black pill here, right? Gamers only have a limited amount of money to be spending every year. If you're going to be telling somebody who can only afford like, what, 3 games now if they're priced at 80 or maybe $100 a pop, they're going to be having to pick. If they're going to pick between AAA people, they're probably going to look at GTA 6 first and maybe the extra 2 games. So really, these companies are kind of, putting competition between each other at a much more intense pace. And that's not something I think is absolutely sustainable down the road. Companies like EA, Activision, Ubisoft, hell, even Rockstar, a lot of these companies are really going to be having to put each other on the chopping block. They're really competing with each other at the end of the day. Because when it comes to things like indie gaming, for me, indie gaming is pretty much where I'm at these days. Like, I've been playing a lot of this one game, Cubic Odyssey. Like, the demo came out, really been enjoying it. Games like No Man's Sky have obviously been attracting me as many times as it's updated. But even from a single-player perspective, games like Signalis, which cost me a fraction of a $60 game, but give me hours of actual fun gameplay, memorable gameplay, is the kind of stuff that I actually end up chasing. Especially as a lot of AAA companies are kind of relying more on remakes to kind of stave off these development budgets as time goes on. I really feel like it's the indie market, the market where games are 20, 30 bucks a pop, but they give you actual hundreds of hours of gameplay is where things are really important. Why would I choose to buy another tactical shooter when a game like Ready or Not exists for a similar but smaller price tag, yet gives me actual hundreds of hours of gameplay that I can play with myself or cooperatively with other people? It's a weird industry, and honestly, the prices going up is literally them just competing with each other. And I think that's going to become very apparent come 2026, when games are probably going to be priced at least $80, maybe $100 a pop, and these companies are absolutely going to have to be fighting with each other for the actual gamer's dime at that point. Now, there's a lot of greed that I think companies are pretty responsible for when it comes to like the industry, right? Like, let's be real. When a game jumps to $80 on a digital perspective, it's probably due to the fact that in some way, I think gaming companies have to find a way to make sure that their hardware can kind of make up. So generally speaking, in a lot of cases, most hardware companies, like whether it be like Microsoft, PlayStation, or Nintendo, generally it'll be the hardware sold at a break even. Maybe you'll make a little bit of money on it, or sometimes it can be sold at cost, right? So let's say that it takes you, I don't know, $350 to make a console. You sell it at like $300, and your expectation is somebody probably buys a controller or they buy a game to make up for it. So I really feel like hardware is where most of the pain is really coming from. Now, to give you an idea, guys, there is a lot of panic due to tariffs, due to like massive issues around the world, where one of the companies in the world, one of the biggest hardware companies, Apple. Now, these guys don't make gaming consoles, but you can definitely game on a MacBook. You can game on an iPhone these days. You can play Resident Evil 4 Remake on the most up-to-date iPhones. But let's say you go and pick up the new iPhone 16 Pro Max, okay? Don't really know this naming scheme, but for $1,200, okay, I used to think phones back in the day, if they priced it at this, should suck my cock. Now, back in the day, you had things like the iPhone 3G. Now, this senior citizen of technological design, I was basically playing like Flash game style things on this, really tiny thing as compared to a modern iPhone, all right, which is significantly larger, significantly faster, and you can play actual RE4 Remake on this, which I think is actually kind of insane that a handheld device is doing it. But a lot of that comes from the chips within this. The same chips, the same design, the same computer semiconductors that power our consoles exists in our GPUs, our phones. It's a pretty common thing amongst medical equipment, military equipment, really anything electronic comes and requires chips. So a lot of companies like Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, Microsoft, a lot of these big tech companies fight for the factory time of one company specifically known as TSMC. Now this is an aerial shot of TSMC in Arizona. Now TSMC is a company from Taiwan, and they basically, from my understanding, produce 90% of the chips internationally. So to give you a rough idea, companies like Apple or like companies like AMD or whoever produces the CPUs and GPUs for a lot of our consoles and cell phones and like cars, everything imaginable, typically they have, you know, people in their companies that spend millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Hell, it can go up to like $1 billion from time to time, creating and basically designing chips, right? So roughly you'll use EDA tools. You basically design a chip. And then once you have a design pretty much thought after, your real confidential design, companies like this will go to TSMC or these fabricators. Basically, the largest fabricator is TSMC. They'll tell them, hey, listen, we need you to make this chip. Now, the reason why TSMC is so important is that A, production of chips is really difficult. Like, I think TSMC spends somewhere like 100 billion US dollars to open up like 2 plants. So it's A, an expensive thing to go down with, but the process of building a computer chip is insane. Okay, so to give you an idea, you need to go get silicon first. In fact, producing a computer chip, I think like a professor of mine put it the best way. You can't ever call somebody dumb as rocks, because we as a human species has basically, like, we've found a way to get rocks to think. Basically, you go out, you get silicon, you get like ultra pure silicon, this ingot, you slide it into very, very thin discs, okay? Very thin discs we call wafers. Using technology like photolithography, okay, we basically take these designs and find out how to etch them onto actual silicon. And after a whole bunch of different chemical treatments, we have magically found a way to turn a rock into a very complicated piece of circuitry that is used in most of the technology we use out there. In fact, thanks to that technology, you're able to watch a fat Indian guy tell you about this process over a high-definition video on the internet, okay? That's how crazy this shit is. So because of things like tariffs, right, on a lot of these semiconductors coming out of China,
There's something here.
Initiate attack. I'll find you. Get out. I'm not gonna be the only one fighting. You're on the move. I got a hit. Big unit. One human.
Little help?
That won't stop you from dying.
Evie, I need help. Another.
Kill the enemy now.
I need help, bud.
Now. I win. Stop getting destroyed. You won't get away. Get up here. This will be easy. I'll show you why I was promoted. Hey, I hit him. Finish it. I can win this.
Something's still wrong.
We caught him. He's got company. On him. Get him already. Done. Direct hit. Stop jumping around. Yeah, take that.
Evie, I need help.
That isn't fair. I'm after the target. Stop that. Don't get close to him. Can't run from me. Taking aim. Eliminate the target. Don't lose him.
Evie, it's him here.
Oh, not good. Over yet. Someone else did it. Why is this happening?
Little help?
Firing on the target. A direct hit.
Stim.
In pursuit. You're going down. Oh, you're done for. Better.
Looks like it's still here.
Now kill him.
think that did it.
We caught him. We did it first. You're going down. We can do better. Do that again. Keep pressure on him. Target is airborne.
I need one.
Why are you running?
No luck, BD.
Take complete. Let's get him. Alter formation. What is this over? Let's end him. The enemy has escaped.
The echo's lingering.
I caught you. I will find you. Take him out. Get after us. Switch out. Friendly unit down.
BD, here!
I'm still going to kill you. Dead on. Can't run from me. One control anymore. Hurt, don't let up.
The echo's still here.
Greetings,
You alright?
as well as intrigue.
You alright?
The scanning. Sector 6 Alpha, 7 anomalies. Scanning. Sector 6 Beta, 1 anomaly. The sky is broken. The masters are gone.
Not done yet. We can do this. I'm in bad shape, buddy. Need to pick me up. Back to normal. Ready, BD? Enjoy that, buddy?
Another base for the Bedlam Raiders. We're unstoppable. We're gonna... Hey, I give the order.
Who programmed clankers to talk so much?
Oh, look. The Jedi. You shouldn't be here. No. Too close. Fun as it is to have something to fight, Ravis won't be too happy if you get any closer. So long, Jedi. Still here. You have guts, I'll give you that.
Of course. Hey, bud, Sims! Help me, BD!
make sure the way is sealed. Nobody gets through. Not even that Jedi scum.
Target is a coward.
That's right. We should send word on the old spot.
Identify. Begin firing. Don't stop firing. Damage.
Let's do it.
Not be here. Shots fired. On target. Damage taken.
Get him.
Trespasser detected. Intercepting threat. Do not let them escape. Power strike. Weapons engaged.
You got it.
Contested dexterity.
Someone else try.
Up here.
Going in.
Sounds like they're defending something important up ahead.
You cannot enter the laboratory.
Jedi
please. Could use a little help, BD.
Target is approaching high-value location. Initiate defense. He will not pass. Assistance required. Fight us.
Help me! Here! Little help?
We should focus all our processors on being ready for them. The Jedi won't let the intruder. I'll show you why I was promoted. Rely on your programming.
I bet Z can get the data off this disk.
Try harder. Fight, coward. I found the intruder. You are damaged. Enemy approaching. Stop your resistance.
Whatever's ahead, you really don't want us getting to it. Help, please.
Come here. Rely on your programming. Yes! Just like me! Did we shoot them? Acquired. What's a real droid do?
The Jedi target dodged. We've got company. After him.
Throw me stim BD. Just what I needed.
Target is advancing. Target is advancing. Deploying it Expanded. Get in there. I've got you now. Nearly here again.
What did I say? Close it! Close it now!
They really don't want us inside. Heavy duty. Don't think I can move it. Let's move. droids. Left alone here for centuries. Until the raiders came. It's sealed. Good time to review our gear. Ergonomic and effective. That'll do. Cordova will want to see this.
I was promised something interesting, and he died
Help me! Help, please!
You're boring me.
I need help!
Now it's real.
Hey, BD-1! Help, BD!
Now. Now, BD.
I'll cut you to pieces.
here, BD.
I need help. Help, BD.
Magnificent.
Now. Hit me. I need something, buddy.
I'll put you down. Say goodbye. Fatigue. Your time of reckoning is at hand. No.
I need help. custom emitter. Maybe we can salvage it. Try it out. Don't fall behind, BD1.
I'll go. I'm the best pilot for this mission, and you know it.
Every ship we've sent into the Abyss has vanished without a trace. We'll go together. I cannot let you take the risk alone.
This is your invention. No one else understands it. You're the only one who can guide me back.
All right. I'll record the passage and make sure you return to us.
Bring in Dagon. Gotta unlock this.
Time to fight.
Let's keep moving, buddy.
I'll go. I'm the best pilot for this mission, and you know it.
Every ship we've sent into the Abyss has vanished without a trace. We'll go together.
This door's not budging.
I'll go. I'm the best pilot for this mission, and you know it.
Every ship we've sent into the Abyss has vanished without a trace. We'll go together. I cannot let you take the risk alone.
This is your invention. No one else understands it. You're the only one who can guide me back.
All right. I'll record the passage and make sure you return to us.
Shadows can't hide you now. How's this? I'll break you.
Enemy here.
On my way. Enemy is hit.
Evasive action.
Oh, exciting. Stab him.
Hey, who are you? At once.
Your defeat is assured.
So be it. Massive ass horse. As expected.
Master Cordova said Dagon had a retreat on Kobo. Let's find it. Whatever he used to cross the abyss, maybe we'll find it there. Haven't used these since the scrapyard on Braca. Prof gave them to me. Every day I wonder if I made the right call.
Feels good to be back in the cockpit.
You missed the mantis.
Sure. Don't get me...
Well...
Uh-huh. Hurry to that lab, kid. I don't know what happened here, and I don't want to know.
Let's see what we got here. Not your typical blaster. I can definitely work with that.
Just once, that's all I want. A moon without any danger. No zombies, no raiders, no anomalies, and nothing we
Where should
ran
we
into
go,
on
buddy?
Nar Shaddaa. Is that so much to ask?
Where to?
We're Kobo bound! You give that old tech Cal found in the lab a look?
Couldn't make heads or tails of it. Maybe we'll put some pieces together after we check out Dagon's retreat on Kobo.
People go to Kobo after things fall apart, not to put things back together.
What about you, Grease?
If you're implying that I came to Kobo a broken Ladero, you are way off, mister. I just needed a break from you all. All right, Cal, get up here.
Watch yourself around the stone spires, Cal.
What'd you hear?
Apparently the Raider base isn't too far from there.
Thanks for the warning.
Okay, I'll catch you later.
Master Cordova's research shows an abandoned settlement past the east side of the valley. Let's go check it out.
If you're looking for a side, you might want to trek to the higher edges of the canyon.
Is it worth the hike?
I wouldn't know. Never been there myself. Too steep to climb. And there's a lot of creatures up there. Some of them won't even eat you.
Sounds like paradise.
It's a tough climb, but you'll find a way up. And you'll see the true majesty of Kobo. I just know it.
Hey, Cal. Good to see you.
Hey, Monk.
Good to see you, Cal.
Till next time, pal.
Greetings, Sojourner.
Just Cal will do.
It will not.
Okay. You don't look like the other prospectors.
No. They unearth riches. Tulakt excavates that which cannot be so easily grasped.
Make a lot of credits in that line of work?
Wisdom is a good that never decays and is always in short supply. Sojourner, you smell of smoke and sand.
I should take another shower then. Talk to you later, Tulakt. You know anything about the High Republic settlement off towards the swamps?
Well, of course. The whole area was devastated when the moon fell on it. You're heading there, aren't you?
Yeah. Need some information from the ruins.
Well, watch your step. Rockfall is a big problem. Unless increasing your friction coefficient is another one of your talents. That was a physics joke.
Okay. Thanks for the warning.
Oh, local legend holds that those ruins are chock full of ghosts. Of course, I would not believe in that kind of thing. But you tell me if you saw one, yeah?
You bet.
You know, you've got a core world air about you. It's becoming...
You from the core?
Guilty as charged. I studied the galactic economy with some of the greatest minds of Coruscant. Then watched those same minds ooze into obscurity while real opportunity whistled by.
Real opportunity?
Oh, you know, tax-free trade, extrajudicial imports, what have you.
Oh, you mean smuggling?
What I mean is that the galaxy is begging to fill your pockets if only you'll play its game.
I think I'll have a... Go back.
Perceptive.
Also not as dumb as I first thought.
Thanks.
Go on now. I'm busy.
You ever leave this booth?
Thinking about it. Wouldn't hold your breath, though.
Private table.
All right, then.
Whoa, easy, Grok. Sorry about my...
Yeah, I get it.
Name's Dana.
I'm Cal. This is BD.
Noisy little thing.
We're thinking of heading to Dredger Gorge. Ever been?
Once or twice. I'd be careful out there. That's gang turf.
Gang turf?
Grok. Sure it ain't that bad.
The hell I'm risking my neck on gang turf.
Hey, it was great meeting you, Cal. Got some business to discuss with my old pal here.
Come on, BD.
What?
Hey, got a sec?
So how'd you two meet anyway?
Oh. Anyways.
We took off.
With the car.
Kid doesn't need our whole life story.
Point is, Grok and I realized that we're better off just the two of us.
We know the feeling.
Come back later, yeah?
Looks like I've met your whole crew, Cal. The old crew, that is. Seemed like there was some tension between you and Seer, huh?
It's always a little strange seeing someone after being apart for years.
I don't have too many people like that in my life. But that probably says more about me than you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's just me and Kata. And that's about as much as I can handle these days. The more people in your life, the more you can lose. You know? When Kobo's moon was shattered, the Republic settlement collapsed, leaving those spires. That place isn't just an old ruin. It's a tomb. Might just be Grease's stew talking, but this place is beginning to grow on me.
Know anything about the High Republic residences on Kobo?
Oh, when I first got here, I did a little exploring of my own. I went into a place, and then I heard creepy voices, and I got out of there in a hurry.
I'll let you know if I hear any voices, Grease.
Wise guys. Not now, Cal. I'm pretty sure Monk reorganized my entire spice rack. But I don't know exactly what he changed. But I don't hate it. Huh. Could he actually know what he's doing? After being back on the Manus, this saloon is looking filthy by comparison. Maybe some cleaning will help.
What do we have here? I'll grab this one.
Cal, how good to see you.
You too, Z.
Should you find any data discs from my day, I'd be happy to decrypt them for you. I imagine there are many that remain lost on Kobo.
We'll let you know if we do.
Oh, Cal, it's delightful to see you fully intact.
Holding up okay?
Fine, thanks. It's not the first time this frontier has been terrorized by marauders, you know. But once more, the noble Jedi Knights rise to the occasion.
Appreciate the thought, Z, but we should watch the whole noble knight stuff.
Yes, of course. Good luck tracking down those leads, and please, do let me know if you find anything.
Stay safe and keep an eye out for more raiders.
Oh, I will. May the Force be with you, Cal.
Cal, look at this saloon.
Monk's been really busy.
And I helped by staying out of the way. Did you know there's even a garden on the roof?
Yeah, I've seen it.
You know what I like about plants? When you talk to them, they can't just walk away. I wish I could be a fearless warrior like you. But I can't. So I'm glad you're around.
You scrap anything useful out here?
Tons. As soon as something breaks or the raiders show face, folks abandon their projects.
So Kobo's a gold mine for scrappers like us.
You got that right. Great to see you.
Zig, you're handy with the wrench, as they say.
Who says that?
Moving on. If you're interested...
We're off to a pretty good start here, buddy.
Why'd you ask me here? I don't like you, and you don't like me.
That's right. But you annoy me a lot less than the others in this go-nowhere town, and I think you feel the same.
What are you saying? Out with it already.
I'm saying this is a date, and we're on it. And if you don't like it, too bad.
Here's for the lift.
You didn't try anything brave.
Nice.
Hello there. 20 cycles ago.
Now look at...
Yeah. Sometimes I wish I could go back there.
You could...
I think I'll stay here.
Count yourself lucky you can't smell. Look at this.
catch my breath. Gotta be a way out. Somewhere.
Been here a while. Maybe they're one of the missing prospectors. creatures were killed by blaster fire. Toss me a stim, bud. Hey, buddy. Stim. Just in time. Just what kind of creature lives down here? Off we go.
Look at this rib cage. Think the Bedlam Raiders would pay for fossils? Oh no.
Gotta be one of the missing prospectors, but... Help me, BD! BD, I need help! Help, BD! I need help, bud. Toss me one, BD. Help me, here. Hey, bud, Tim. Hit me. Another. Hit me. Buddy. Quick, help. Here, buddy. Hey, BD1! Toss me one, BD! I need one. Here, buddy. Up here. Stim. I'm hit. Stim, now! Buddy! Quick, help! Hey, BD-1! Buddy, help! I need help. Help me, here. Let's stop here. Help, please! BD. Now I know what killed those prospectors. Wait till Grease hears about this. Right on his doorstep. Come on, buddy.
You're back. So, what did you find?
Took down the Rancor that was stalking the mines, but I didn't find any prospectors.
So let me get this straight. No Rancor, no survivors, no competition? That priorite's mine for the taking.
You didn't care about the prospectors, did you? You just wanted the priorite.
I'm gonna level with ya. Yes, and now that mine's all mine.
Better be careful. Who knows if there's another Rancor down there?
You're just yanking my chain, right? Right?
Now! Who needs a good scratch?
Don't blame me.
Buddy, help!
I need a moment. Got you. That's a hit. How's that possible? I got this.
BD, got something to help me?
Not a bad sound. Sampling this for sure. But it's missing something. There we go.
I need help, bud. Need to open this. All right. Let's look. Time to go. Buddy. What's that? What's that, bud? Do your magic, BD. Now! Thanks for the assist. Up!
got it.
Oh, it's you! Hello there. I don't see what... It's like that's all people...
A droid that old is pretty exciting.
Well, I'm old. No one wants to talk about me. Look, let me tell you. I was one of the first people in this town, and I have seen a whole lot of fads and flavors of the week.
Like what?
We once had a fire juggler come in. People paid to see her, too. 50 credits a pop.
Sounds like fun.
Oh, yeah, it was fun. Till she burned half the food silo down.
Ah, not fun.
See, stuff that's new is exciting, sure, but what really counts is consistency. Reliable.
Can't hurt to take a look, right?
You got a good eye. You stay safe now.
Thanks for the ride.
Well, hey there, traveler.
Hi there.
Don't mind the beast. She don't like strangers. The mountain don't neither. You be careful.
I'll try. Thanks.
Prospectors...
So
There's stuff beyond these...
Something blisters, what an almighty racket! Have your bells for feet?
Careful. There's nothing to worry. Whoa! I got you, Shanna. Thanks.
let's take a look. Find something, buddy? The lift isn't here.
Come back. You say so. All right. I can keep going. On. Let me at last. Here I come. It'll be over soon.
A little help, buddy.
I barred the passage. I'm sorry.
Farewell. Oh, a newcomer. Who are you?
Ugh. The smell down here is potent. Ugh. What is that? Acid? Let's keep her distance.
My son.
Can't use this lift from here.
No more running, coward. We're gonna take you out.
Droids. The Raiders have rigged this place. Don't think I'll be able to move it.
I'm the commander here.
You're afraid? Move up, move in. That's me. I find you, I kill you. Guys! This ain't dying. Got you now. Get in there and fight! Right? You have to come back and fight, scum! I'm on your trail.
Let's see what's up ahead, buddy.
This won't be easy.
Think of the rewards, Shanna. Come on.
Okay.
Interesting.
Eyes up, trooper. Intruder. Do we open fire? Let's shoot him. Negative. This force field can withstand anything these locals throw at it.
All set. Breathe.
Let that be a lesson to y'all. You come into my outpost, I'll hunt you down and kill you myself.
Target is injured.
Toss me a stim, bud. Buddy, over here.
Protocol is for fighting Jedi. Aim and fire until he's dead? You just stay back and let me do it. I guess I'll go after him. Throwing a grenade! Hard to hit. Why don't we have it?
I need help.
Commander, let me in! Shoot you! Shots fired! Roger, roger! I'm hit!
Up here. Stand BD.
Inferno blast! Attack!
Hey, BD1.
That's not good at all. I got you. Hope I hit him. Look at him go.
What are you doing here?
Help, BD.
An enemy with a light sword.
Looks like another shard.
Well fought, but you are outmatched.
This is my tower. What do you want?
To offer you something. A proposal.